Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and today we are not making a card, we are making a 3D box. Okay, so I'm sharing this on the blog today, and I'm going to put one together for you now that's going to be very similar. So let's go ahead and get started. So I crafted this box out of Designer Series paper. Okay, that made my sides, my bottom, my other side, and then I used 2 panels of cardstock for the front and back. Okay, we're going to put some tulle ribbon on it. We're going to do our sentiments, dress it up a little, and then stamp our tissue paper. So let's go ahead and get to it. So here is my Designer Series paper. This is a sample of the Forever Greenery paper. Okay, now I've got my strip here and I've scored it along the edges, and I've scored it at 4.5 inches from either end. Okay, that's going to end up becoming the sides and bottom of my box. Now you'll notice that when I try to fold that up, right, I end up with this little pinch in the middle. So I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to trim the tabs right along those scored lines. And I'm just going into the score line along the length. So in my comments on the blog, I say these are 1/2 inch edges. When I have this piece, I actually started with a 4-inch piece and I went with 3/4 inch edges. So if you want to make them a little wider, you certainly can, but if you have less paper, you can make adjustments. Okay, so then you can see I've got my sticky strip along my edges here for constructing my box when I'm ready to do that. Okay, so to construct our box, we need... alarms going off everywhere. Got my firehouse going off and my phone going off. Let's fix what I can. Okay, so back to where we were. I've got 2 panels that I have embossed with the greenery embossing folders. So these are in the shaded spruce. I've done 1 of each. One's going to become my front and one's going to become my back of my little box here. So we have those. So let me show you how I build the box. Okay, so I'm going to peel my sticky strip edges. Now this is always a little tricky, and we don't sell sticky strip anymore. I happen just to have it in my collection, so I pulled it out to use it. If you still have it, sometimes I just run my finger along to break the seal a little bit. There we go, and then just peel it up. What we have now is the Stamp and Seal Plus. Okay, that's our new adhesive line that Stampin' Up released this year. And the Stamp and Seal is like our old snail, okay, just for everyday card making. And the Stamp and Seal Plus is a stronger, more permanent glue tape. So if you want to build boxes or 3D objects, that's what they recommend now. Okay, so now I've got one edge stripped clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up and make a 90-degree angle the best I can. And I'm folding this one up, and I'm going to do the same idea over here. Okay, now I take one of my panels, and that's all sticky strips, so I'm just going to place this at the bottom, tack that down, and then I'm going to pinch in my sides until they fit, and just run my finger along that adhesive on the inside. Okay, see how I've got 1/2 of my box made? So now what I need to do is I need to peel the sticky off of this other set. Let's see if I can get it to come off. Alright, there's one. Something you want to be careful of when you're using Designer Series paper, right, our pattern paper, to build your 3D items. Remember, it's not cardstock, it's not thick. Unless you happen to have some of our specialty paper, which is thicker, okay, you need to be careful when you're creasing it. You need to be careful when you're putting adhesive on it so that you don't tear it. But it is sturdy enough to build envelopes and boxes out of. Okay, so there's my second exposed side of my box. So again, I'm going to put the panel down at the bottom, tack that down, and then I'm just going to work up my edges to create my box. Okay, so other than my adhesive needing a little extra finger work to peel off that backer, there is my box. So I've got 2 patterned sides and I've got 2 embossed sides. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to use, okay, I thought here it is, my tulle ribbon. So what I want to do is I actually want to go around my box twice. Okay, I want a nice thick band. So I'm just going to kind of measure it like this. That's 1, that's 2, and then I want enough for a little bit of the tail. So I'm just going to go 3. I know that's not super specific, right? But I went 3 times around. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of glue dots here on the front. It's just kind of to help me adhere part of it. And I'm going to put one of my tails, I want the fuzzy side up. That's the fuzzy side up. I'm going to put my tails down like this. Okay, so that's one tail. Now I'm going to wrap. So I went around once. I'm going to go around twice. Okay, then I'm going to bring it back, and now I'm going to put one more glue dot. I need another hand. One more glue dot here, and I'm just going to stick that down, and then I'm going to bring it down and trim off the excess. Now, to trim up those edges so they're nice and the same, just bring them up together and trim them off together. Okay, so now I've got 2 tails there on the front of my project. Okay, now that's not pretty, right? But we're going to cover that all up. So what I've done next is I stamped hello from the Forever Fern set, which coordinates with the paper and the embossing folders. Okay, so I stamped Forever Fern with my shaded spruce, and I die cut it with my Stitched So Sweetly. And then I have another one with vellum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these 2 labels up on top of each other. So first I've got hello, and that's going to go on my vellum. And then on my vellum, I'm going to add 2 dimensionals, but I'm going to make sure I hide them behind that white label on the front, right? I don't want my dimensionals to show. And I'm going to be able to put those on here. All right, so there's that. Now I've done one more thing for embellishment here. I have pre-stamped 2 of the images from the set, and I put them on Whisper White cardstock. Now I trimmed mine out because I do not have the coordinating dies, but we do offer the coordinating dies for this stamp set, so you could die cut all of these images out. So I'm just going to add these. Now I just put glue dots on the back. I'm just going to add these for a little bit of extra embellishment, and I'm just tacking them down behind that sentiment and ribbon that I put on. So I'm just sliding them in on my box. Okay, so there's that. All right, one last step is the filler, right? The tissue paper. So if you're going to make a crafty container and you're going to put something fun in it, why not stamp the filler as well? So since this is a box and it's just going to pop up to the edge, I'm just going to stamp my edges. So here's my paper. I'm just going to stamp along the edge with my stamps. So not really a lot of rhyme or reason, and I'm just going to kind of leave some space in between. Okay, nice and quick. Then I'm going to switch my other stamp out. Just add some. Now if you really wanted to get fancy, you could certainly stamp the whole sheet, right? There's nothing wrong with adding more. But I know only the top is going to be seen poking out of my box, so I really only need to do the top. So I'm just stamping it right on the tissue paper. can do the other one. So now, there's our tissue paper. I'm just going to scrunch that up a little, stick it in my box, and my gift wrap is ready for my gift. So, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this kind of quick walkthrough of how I made my boxes. I hope you'll give it a try the next time you need to give a little something to someone. Use your craft supplies in another way other than just cards. And if you have any questions, of course, you can contact me at Susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com. All the information is on the blog. There's a link there to the tutorial. And if you're my shopping customers, don't forget to visit the new Stampin' Chat with Susan Facebook group, because I have posted the full tutorial there for your access. Okay, everybody, I appreciate you stopping in, visiting with me while I stamp for you today, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.